In this episode of the EverQuest Show, huge amount of news dropping with the latest producer's letter for both EverQuest and EverQuest II. And we hit the road to find Firiona Vie. And don't call them dolls, they're action figures. You're watching the EverQuest Show.
Celebrate life and get excited about good times and good living. Come on, shout it out. Hey! Take it up, take it over, take it out of control. Today I'm freeing my soul and now you got me singing. Oh, hey!
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the EverQuest Show. I'm Fading and we have a huge amount of news to get to from the producer's letters that dropped for both EverQuest and EverQuest II. So let's get started. We have the first screenshots from the next expansion for EverQuest, and it looks like we may be going back to Velius. The producer's letter had frosty giants and an icy location screenshot, and the EverQuest Show received an additional exclusive set of never-before-seen screenshots of the next expansion. You're not going to see these anywhere else, including several that include what we assume is the new ice shader talked about in the producer's letter. Now, we've been able to identify what we believe is Kale Drakel. Notice the banners in the screenshots. They're the very same symbols that we've seen in the Velius version of the zone. But if you want to see these for yourself, go to EverQuestShow.com. You're not going to find them anywhere else, and let us know what you think. Also see if you can identify maybe any locations that we missed. We also received confirmation that the next EverQuest expansion will be launched this year in December, although a specific date was not given. The biggest surprise of the entire producer's letter was the announcement of a new progression server for EverQuest. It's set to launch around the 15th anniversary of EverQuest II, the two games trying to support each other. EverQuest will help to celebrate with a new rule set that includes automatic level 85s and beginning at House of Thule expansion. That new progression server is expected to launch around November 9th, that's the 15th anniversary of EverQuest II, and also confirmed Troll Heritage crates. Those are going to drop with this upcoming patch. Those had been speculated on for weeks, but we've got a complete rundown of what could be in those crates. That's on EverQuestShow.com as well. And for EverQuest II, some big announcements here. The next expansion, get ready to level up. It's going to bring your level cap up to 120. That's just one of the big pieces of news from the EverQuest II producer's letter. The next game update, it's also expected to be pretty beefy. Game update 111, that's Carnage and Kale. It's expected to bring Fable Dungeon, Kale Drakel, again we mentioned Kale. You can expect mount level increases and new familiars as well. Game update 111 is expected to drop on August 27th, and we hear some rumors that there could be some surprises in that game update. We hear things. We hear very good things. EverQuest II is also planning to launch a new server for the 15th anniversary, as well as new content for the Heroes Festival and a server-wide dragon-themed event. And for both games, a poll is now up for the fan event that the dev team still wants to hold sometimes next year. We've also got expansion sales as we prepare for the next expansion. There's plenty of information, a huge amount of information that dropped with this latest producer's letter. Make sure you go to EverQuestShow.com. We've laid it all out for both games and those exclusive screenshots. EQ fans come from all walks of life, and they have a lot of different artistic and musical abilities. Now, the EverQuest Show wants to feature some of that art and music on our future episodes. Like graphic designer Bill Harkin, who made this very stylized and very cool EQ 20th tribute, or maybe you made some original EQ remixed music. You gotta check out this Techno remix of the EQ theme. Now, if you'd like to be featured on this show in a future episode, or maybe just display your work on our website, we really want to do that. All you got to do is go to EverQuestShow.com, go to the Art and Artist section. One of the most popular items for any EverQuest collector are the set of Toy Vault action figures that were released, but trying to find a list of these, it can be daunting. So, we've done it for you.
Are you playing with those dolls again?
They're not dolls. Now, the first series of EverQuest Action Figures was released in 2000 with a total of 9 figures in Series 1. The original series consisted of 2 different trolls, Shaman and Warrior, 2 different Ixar, Necromancer and Warrior, 2 different Dark Elves, Magician and a Wizard, and 2 Gnolls, a Split Paw Gnoll and Grinix Mucktail. I guess one is the placeholder and one is the named. Anyway, and finally in the original series there was a Creatures of Norrath set. It included ghoul, froglocks, snakes, spiders. It's basically all NPCs. Now these are really cool. They're posable, they're fully articulated, they've got some really neat accessories depending on which one you have. They have cool things that you'd find in the game, robes and steins and swords and shields. Also in Series 1 there were 2 exclusive figures released, a Troll Shadow Knight for the Toy Vault Toy Club and a Dark Elf Heretic exclusive for Electronics Boutique. Yeah, do you remember Electronics Boutique? Yeah, I miss them too. Now, Series 2 only brought 3 additional action figures into the set, but they had slightly different, more deluxe packaging, and each one of them had a special name, a special character within the lore of Norath. Danik Dorantat, the Ixar who was commanded by Veneral Sathir to kidnap Firiona Vie. You know that old chestnut. If you don't, go check out the Ruins of Kunark lore. It's also in the Ruins of Kunark comic book that we covered right here on the EverQuest Show. Now, the second of the deluxe figures is Valai Kalzal, and I'm completely making that pronunciation up. By the way, if she looks familiar, she's on the original EverQuest art. And finally, there's a kitty from Shadows of Luckland. This is Jarul. His name is Jarul Maris. Isn't there Jarul? Is that how you would say that? Now, it brings the total up to 14, but many of you also have the Firiona Vie action figure that came with the Planes of Power deluxe box. She came also with the life guide, although I have no idea where I've misplaced that. That's how we got into the Ruins of Kunark mess to begin with. And that brings the total up to 15 fully articulated, posable action figures for you to play with. I mean, to display prominently while you grind XP. Fun. He kind of looks like Veneral Sathir, doesn't he? That robe. For a complete checklist of all of the action figures, including the information we mentioned here, make sure you go to EverQuestShow.com. Now, for our In Real Life segments, I try to find the most interesting stories, the coolest subjects. I know it's a favorite of yours and mine as well. But this episode's subject has never even played EverQuest, but she's got an amazing link to the game. But in order to tell her story, had to take a little trip. Along the way, met some guildies, bought some fat loots, heard some bards, and even met Firiona Vie on the road.
EverQuest was the first game that I really got into, and I saw the loading screen. It had Firiona Vie on it. Thought she was beautiful, and I loved the name. I thought it was a great name, and I named my daughter that. She was my second born, and when I found out she was a girl, for some reason I initially was gonna name her Madison Mackenzie, which is good I didn't, because she hates that name.
Ew.
I kind of pitched it to my family. I was like, what do you think about Firiona Vie? And shockingly, they were all okay with it. And they were like, I think it's an amazing name. I think it's really pretty. It's beautiful. She's artistic.
And I drew that a while ago. Like,
she's funny.
thanks for like setting up my dreams for me.
She's just amazing. And so the name really fits her because she's one of a kind.
Oh, I like to play 8, which this is. It's by Billie Eilish. The other song was the song Can't Help Falling in Love with You. A few songs by MXM Tune, which she just plays mainly.
She doesn't know anything about the actual game other than the fact that it's an MMO. She's happy. She's not being bullied. She's not being picked on. And she's great. There was nothing negative to naming her Firiona Vie at all. She's the only Firiona on the planet, as far as I know.
I never thought of it like that.
Just the fact that she's a teenager now and the fact that the game has existed for 20 years makes me feel old. So thank you for that.
That's it for this episode. Make sure, as always, you comment, read the description. We'll provide any links to any stories that we covered there, as well as giving you the latest updates on what's happening. Go to EverQuestShow.com. Ja Rule? Name wasn't taken?
This is bad. This is really bad.
Dude, I don't even know where we went.
Now you're gonna make me laugh.
You scared me so bad.
What are you doing? You're making me laugh.
No, I'm not.
Okay, OCD Jane.
People are probably curious what the shirt is. It's Fippy. See? He never gives up. I feel like Superman. Ooh, it's hot. Sweating. Grinnick's Mucktail. That's easy for me to say. Oh, look, even his tail is articulated. Oh, that's fun. A set of shoot. Make sure you comment in the, shoot. Please keep the shit. Keep the together. That's tough to do. Check out those exclusive screens. Ah, shoot. Really? Last sentence? Screw up the last sentence.